This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Just what makes that silly old ant think he can move a rubber tree plant? Everyone knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant, but he's got, you know the words, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the show. What an incredible come-from-behind victory for your, wait for it, fighting Phils. How about that victory? As it says in the thumbnail, what a win, what a comeback, what a sweep. Phillies close it out. A 3-game sweep of the Tampa Bay Rays after being down 5-1 in the 8th inning. Folks, you can't write the drama that we saw tonight. Everything from a 3-run home run from Bryson Stott in the 8th to Johan Rojas. Even before I get to Johan Rojas, Kyle Schwarber goes down in the 7th inning. The Phillies rally a bit. He gets back to the plate, has an opportunity to extend his on-base streak to 43 games. He does it with a leadoff single, which then allows Johan Rojas to pinch run for him, which then allows Johan Rojas to go from first to third on a throwing error by Fairbanks. The game-tying run is standing on third base to tie things up in 5 with Nick Castellanos. A couple of batters later, a little grounder for Max Kepler, which was, by the way, well out of the zone, but, whatever. And he puts it in play, which is all you needed, with Johan Rojas hustling home to tie things up. And then Brandon Marsh. Oh, my goodness gracious. First off, Marsh gets on third, and I'm thinking, it's a wrap. Can we just make him the center fielder already? And then Brandon Marsh says, hold my beard. And he steps up to the plate in the 10th inning, and he drills a ball on a leadoff double, scoring Edmundo Sosa to make it a 6-5 Phillies advantage. And then Trey Turner, guess what? Kyle Schwarber didn't have a chance at 43 straight games of being on base until it got to the 9th inning. It happened. Magical. Then Trey Turner had an opportunity to get another multi-hit game. Now what? His 9th in 17 games. He got it in the 10th inning, and when he got it, you know what else he did? It ended up being the game-winning run. How about that? And after the Bryson Stott 3-run home run, by the way, to go back to the 8th inning, after that, Trey Turner stepped up. Long fly ball, deep left field. Oh, T-Mac, my man. He thought it was gone. I thought it was gone. You probably thought it was gone. All of Tampa thought it was gone. No. Just barely stays in the ballpark for a double, as opposed to what would have been the game-tying home run off the bat of Trey Turner. I honestly feel like I can't believe, I just blacked out. I don't even know what I just said, because my mind is just racing after that kind of game. Everything from Jesus Luzardo going 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, good enough to put his team in a position to win, but could get no run support. Tanner Banks getting tattooed by Yandy Diaz in the 6th inning, 7th inning in that game. And the Phillies somehow finding a way to come back. I'm watching this game go on, and I just think, okay, the Phillies are out of the magic. They have a bunch of balls that are just dying out there on the warning track. I'm not feeling the magic. I'm not feeling like it's going to be a win at all. And then the magic does happen. Here I am face palming throughout the game going, they're never going to get another sweep again. They swept the Rockies in their 2nd series of the season. Like, that's an accomplishment, but they'll never get another sweep again. And then they just sweep the Rays. They put the light out when it came to the Rays. I believe I already gave you 3 big things right out of the gate. I believe I already gave you 3 big things. So there you go. Let's just jump right to it. This is going to be, without question, our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Duh. Bryson Stotty too hotty. Listen to this. This guy, they tried to give him, I believe it was a 1-2 fastball. They tried to beat him on a 1-2 fastball in off the plate, almost on his hands. And he just whips the barrel of the bat through the zone and just hits a monster shot. For Bryson Stott, 409 feet down the right field line. Here's what I noticed. And this definitely comes into play later in the inning, actually in the next batter with Trey Turner. Balls hit the left field were just dying. at the warning track. So I don't know which way the wind pattern was going, but I would definitely assume it was out to right field because everything hitting the left field just seemed to die at the warning track. You barely make it to the fence, but it seemed like these balls were crushed out of the batter's box and then they would just die. Warning track power, WTP, folks. And then out to right field, like this ball, and also the home run by Diaz earlier in the game off Banks. That ball just kept going and sailing, just like this home run from Bryson Stott. He was down in the count 1-2, got the fastball in on the hands, 2 outs in the inning, and he makes magic happen to make it a 1-run ball game. Also, later in the game, he comes up with a clutch bunt that helped the Phillies to keep momentum going for themselves. Really, he just did whatever his team needed him to do throughout the game. And you love to see that for a guy like Bryson Stott. That sac bunt came up in the 10th inning, helped get another runner in scoring position there, or Marsh to third base, rather. You love to see it from this Phillies team. And Bryson Stott was the guy making things happen at the plate tonight and really just gave the Phillies a shot of life without question. Gave them the shot of life. You look back at that 8th inning, Kepler led off by grounding out to first base. Realmuto got the single. Bohm grounds into the fielder's choice. So you got a runner on. Brandon Marsh comes up with his first hit of the ball game there. He gets a single to left field. He got first and second, 2 outs. Stott handled the rest. The big shot, the big hit that you needed was provided by Bryson Stott. When it comes to the turning point of this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
You could easily say the 3-run home run, but I'm going to go with Fairbanks' error. Because when Fairbanks came into that error, I mean, let's look at it. Okay, so Trey Turner hits what you thought was a game-tying home run. Just short, it's a double. Bryce Harper steps up to the plate right after that, and man, he's just hacking. He ends up swinging at the first pitch. It's out of the zone, nothing working there. Then he gets another one. This one he rolls over, grounds out to first base. So momentum's killed. Will you recapture some of that momentum? Leave it up to Bryce Harper, or excuse me, to Kyle Schwarber getting that leadoff single. Johan Rojas had a bag stolen, as Nick Castellanos, give him all the credit in the world for battling during a 7-pitch at bat. But while it was, I believe, a 2-2 count, Fairbanks made his second and final disengagement to attempt to pick off Johan Rojas, who with blazing speed made it from first to third on the throwing error. And when they went to the overhead angle to see Rojas coming back to the bag, and he was almost picked off earlier in the at-bat as well, very close. But when they made the overhead angle, when they brought that up on the screen there, and I saw the ball fly out of the screen, I went, get up and run, get up and run. And he got up and ran, and he made it to third base. So you had nobody out with the game-tying run at third. I'm going to use that play right there as the turning point of this game. How about that for your fighting Phils, ladies and gentlemen? This is going to be a fun one. If there's a way to roll into Cleveland, Ohio to take on the Guardians, this is the way to do it. It's not hat in hand. It's not your face in your palms. It is just simply enjoying the work of your Philadelphia Phillies. And how about this, by the way, just so I don't forget any names, let me bring up the full list. I do have it here. Give me 1 second. I will get this up for you because this is a very important thing. A very, very, very important thing when it comes to your Philadelphia Phillies. Okay, so Luzardo started things out. Carlos Hernandez, hat tip to that man. What he was able to get done for the Phillies in the 6th inning, getting out of that jam that he was left with. He inherited a runner on first and second with 1 out. He got Jansen striking out on a 1-2 slider, looking, sit down, sir. Then Simpson came up to pinch hit for Meade, got him to sit down on a splitter. Carlos Hernandez, good job by you. Tanner Banks, let me get this out of the way before I really talk about Tanner Banks. So before Tanner Banks faced Diaz, there might have been some people that thought, bring in Jordan Romano now. Jordan Romano was out there in the bullpen. I even heard during the broadcast Tom McCarthy say that he was ready to go. I can't imagine that Jordan Romano is not ready to go. I'm ready, Deborah. And he was ready. But they didn't bring him in. You know why he didn't bring him in? And this is where I'm actually on Tinker Topper's side for not tinkering at this moment. Diaz is a reverse splits guy. He's got better numbers against right-handed pitching than he does left-handed pitching. So I had no issue whatsoever with not making that change. So he didn't make the change. And unfortunately, it didn't work out in the Phillies' favor in this regard. And here's the other thing. The home run that Fairbanks had was hit to opposite field. Diaz did a fantastic job. It was a much better swing than it was a pitch. It was away. It caught too much of the plate, no doubt about it, but it was still away. And Diaz put a good swing on it and great swing on it to put it out of the park for the 3-run home run. After Banks, though, Realmuto came in, did his job, gave up 2 hits, but didn't get into danger thanks to strikeouts. Alvarado came out there, gave up a hit, but also got a strikeout, 11 pitches to get out of his jam. One of my favorite things from Jose Alvarado, goodness gracious, people. Jose Alvarado comes into this ball game, and he has an opportunity here to really make sure that he could capture momentum for the Phillies here, at least from a pitching standpoint. He goes down in 1 or 2 instances there in a 3-0 count, battles back to 3-2, and records a strikeout. You gotta just breathe into a paper bag sometimes with Jose Alvarado. Really anybody in the Phillies bullpen, especially Matt Strahm. What the heck, man? Matt Strahm had me having heart palpitations as well. All right, when we come back, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through some comments. I'm going to give you what you'll be talking about tomorrow. And also, I'm going to give one more hat tip to somebody that really did a hell of a job tonight, especially when you talk about a guy that's fighting for more time in the lineup. That's when we return. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. You guys have heard me talking a lot about SupplyHouse.com. Get the supplies you need from the site that's really for the skilled trade, Supply House. Whether you're plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, SupplyHouse.com is reliable, and it's the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts and 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you're looking for delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you always talk to a real person. Join the Trade Master program today, by the way, at supplyhouse.com/TM. That's supplyhouse.com/TM. And start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order with supplyhouse.com. Are you guys having a good time with FanDuel, especially when you're following all that's going on in Major League Baseball and the NBA playoffs? Because they're in full swing. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, huge slam dunks, huge three-pointers, all can be followed on FanDuel. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live during the game with player props, performance trends, and also the same game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big with FanDuel. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments? How could you track their trends and help build your next bet? Follow it all on FanDuel. If you got a read on who's heating up, whether it be for the Knicks, whether it be for the Celtics, whoever, FanDuel has you covered with same-game parlays as well. And how could you use a $200 bonus in bets when you add the excitement if your first bet hits at $5 or more? Your first $5 bet could get you back $200 in bonus bets. How about that? So, new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. And if it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. And how can we forget about wonderful pistachios? Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. Wonderful pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts out there. Oh, it's fantastic too. Each single nut, 1 ounce of serving, 6 grams of protein. How about that? 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value when you dip into the delicious world of wonderful pistachios. Personally, I love the no-shell variety. Perfect grab-and-go snack for the busy days. A 3-show day for me today. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bet I've had a couple handfuls of the wonderful pistachios. Satisfying to crack into ones that are not shellless. You can still enjoy the old-fashioned way, as I like to say. Whether you're running between meetings, shows, or dropping the kids off, wonderful pistachios are the snack to work as hard as you. So trust Wonderful Pistachios. Get snacking and maybe get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Wonderful Pistachios at wonderfulpistachios.com. That's visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. I honestly can't give enough credit to Brandon Marsh. Since he has come back, he's been a totally different player, absolutely trustworthy in the outfield, and a hell of a lot more trustworthy at the plate. When you look at his overall numbers, 170, you don't go, he's on fire. No, absolutely not. But when you look at what he's been able to do since coming back from his IL stint, since coming back from a little bit of a rehab, excuse me, not a rehab, a little bit of a setback at the minor league level, he has been a much better ball player, a lot more confident at the plate, and he has looked like the guy that you want him to look like. Going into today, over the last week, he's been up. He's batting .429 since he's been recalled. That's the guy that you want to see. That's the guy you want to see, not just at that level, but also push a guy like Johan Rojas at the same time. So although some people, myself included, might just say, okay, it's Rojas's job to lose, Brandon Marsh is going to make that as difficult as possible. And if he doesn't make it as difficult as possible, then he'll make it as easy as possible to get a big return, or at least bigger return than you would have gotten had he been terrible in any type of trade you might be considering later on in the season. Let's get into the chat check and see how your wonderful people feel about this fine Phillies victory. Where are you at? Here we go. Jess Patrick. Hello, Jess Patrick. The second coming of Lou Brock scores the tying run in the ninth. How about that? Jess Patrick Strom on the mound turns me into a quivering pile of gelatin. I can identify. Morgan Landy, 2008 is still in the Rays' heads. Great comeback win for the sweep. Go Phillies. Sir Sketchable. What's up, Sir Sketchable? I was convinced there was a witch or demon type of entity threatening harm to the Phillies if they swept the series. Looks like maybe they have taken care of now. Maybe they have that taken care of now. Gotcha. And aren't afraid to win 3 in a row. There you go. Philly at 8. Hello. Absolutely incredible Phillies. What a 100% team win. Absolutely can't believe it. But Marsh really dug this out offensively. What a lockdown defense as well. Way to go, Phils. Noah Cook. This game was epic. I concur. Thaddeus Brown. Hello, Thaddeus. Have a feeling Strom and Harper will get back in the groove soon. I have the same feeling. Just keep piling the wins until then. Brick by brick. Absolutely. Bam 100. Hello. It won't get a lot of attention, but that walk by Casty on a 9-pitch at bat was huge. The runner on first was needed for us to score there. I agree wholeheartedly. One more thing. I don't know if you guys noticed this at the same time I did, but around the 6th or 7th inning, I think it was the 7th inning, Phillies are still trailing 5-1. When at Citizens Bank Park, I hate Eagles chants. I do not like Eagles chants at Sixers games, at Phillies games, at Flyers games. I don't think that's ever happened. I don't like that. I like being invested in the team that I invested in to be there and for the moment. But if you're on the road, I love it. And I'll tell you why. It's kind of like a roll call. Hey, let's see who's from Philly kind of thing. And some fan, and I could tell it was the same guy, just started Eagles chants at an alarming rate. And I remember thinking, hey, where are the Eagles chants in this game? Because you heard them in the first 2 games of the series, which in case you missed, the Phillies were 2-0. Well, some fans started them up again in that 7th inning, and in the very next inning, Phillies get a 3-run home run. Bing, bang, boom. Coincidence? I think not. Science? Probably. You know what I mean? Anyway, enough of that. Bam 100. Hello. Yes, that's right. Noah Cook, what's going on? This game was absolutely epic. Let's go, Phils. Hell yeah. Ring the bell. Was convinced we were going to use those dead bat games. Guys exploded. They did. They exploded in this one. Mikey B. Hello. Alvarado had me shook for a second. Yeah, a little bit. Jeremy Van Skyver, hello. Thank you, Bryson Stott, for injecting life late into this game. Now I can go and get a good night's sleep. Go Phillies. Here you go. Polar Buck, I'm so happy to see Stott himself again. He's been amazing. Yeah. Crazy, living near Tampa. I'm wearing my Phillies shirt to work tomorrow. There you go. Christopher Michael, amazing game. Bats were cold for a while, but still my favorite game of the year so far this year. Fantastic. They showed some cojones tonight. They absolutely did. Colton Berge, let's go. Absolutely. Matt Forster, that's baseball. Rob Thompson, please tell me that's what he said after the game. Because this is absolutely baseball. Let's keep it rolling. Absolutely. They had Fairbanks shaking in his cleats. Can somebody tell me, for the love of all that is sacred and grand, how the hell that is not a balk? His little rock, whatever the heck, that I know other pitchers do it, only a couple, but I know other pitchers do it. That is so dumb that does not get called as a balk. I get to keep rocking, and there's other times where he never really even comes set. We're darn ridiculous. Okay, time. Hello. I love Bryson. Had nobody but Stott to draft for my ESPN Fantasy Baseball League. Well, good for you. But I am loving Stott on my fantasy team. Well, there you go. What's up with Strom, says Pat Ryan. I don't know. Connor says, let's keep it going. Land on Airlines. Oh, yeah. Stotts. Tots. Love it. John Messina. Wow, big win. That's right. Greg Benson. Hello. This is a great win. Made greater somehow because my Suns are in Tampa tonight. There you go. How much do you love that? James Alexander, 3-game sweep. In all honesty, let's just round it out. Thanks, everybody in the chat, by the way. Let's just round this out for you.
This is what you'll be talking about.
You're going to be talking about the Phillies completing the sweep. You're going to be talking about Bryson Stott's 3-run home run down 5-1. You're going to be talking about Trey Turner's almost game-tying home run. And then Johan Rojas like grease lightning across the diamond to be able to go from first to third on that pickoff attempt and then scoring. And then Brandon Marsh and Trey Turner coming up clutch in the 10th inning. That's what you're going to be talking about. No doubt about it. Hey, by the way, speaking of tomorrow, your Phillies are back at it tomorrow. I believe that is another 7 o'clock start time, not 7:05 start. Oh, 7:10 start time. Come on. Get a Cleveland Guardians. That game going on tomorrow night. The Cleveland Guardians, looks like they're going to be entering that game 22-15, as are your Philadelphia Phillies. Aaron Nola will get to start against Gavin Williams, a righty-righty matchup. Nola coming off by far his best start of the year. Gavin Williams, 5.06 ERA, 2-2 on the season, 37 strikeouts and 32 innings of work. Also 19 walks, brah. 6 home runs surrendered, same as Aaron Nola. But we know Nola's got a brand new bag, right? Nola's got a brand new bag. I'm not even talking about his contract. I'm talking about when JT Realmuto catches him, he's on fire. By the way, Williams is coming off a 4-inning, 7-hit, 2-run performance against the Toronto Blue Jays back on the 3rd. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Connor Thomas has you covered for all your Phillies daily content. I got you covered for your Locked On Phillies postcasts. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Back with you guys tomorrow night. I look forward to it. Let's make it let's get crazy. 4 in a row. And maybe 5 series wins in a row to boot. See you guys then. Bye.